We are less than 2 months away from the launch of Mafia: The Old Country, coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. I'm very excited for this game because I'm a huge Mafia fan. From the original Mafia to Mafia 2, Mafia 3, which I covered in 2015 and 2016, as well as Mafia Definitive Edition not too long ago. So I'm very excited for this prequel. And we've been covering it, except for the story trailers going forward. We're going to avoid those because I feel like we've already been given too much information regarding the story of Mafia: The Old Country. This tends to happen with a lot of like trailers for TV shows and movies. And I want to actually play the game with no more spoilers. So I don't know if this new video is going to contain spoilers. The Breaking the Omertà ones usually don't. It just does behind the scenes stuff, but unfortunately, because it involves the cast and capture performance, there might be spoilers. So I'm just warning you all in advance before you watch this video or watch me react to the video. But I'll have it linked below in the description section. But anyways, here we go. Let's check out this latest video from Mafia: The Old Country, Breaking Omertà, capture performance. Now, I've covered the other videos in the Breaking Omertà series, so feel free and check them out in my Mafia playlist. All right, let me put the closed caption on.
Looking for Luca.
How is he here? Sticking around where you don't belong will be the last thing you do. Capisti?
In Mafia: The Old Country, our story is actually very grounded. It's a very kind of personal story. It's really important that those characters do feel believable. They feel like they live in that world.
No more running.
Okay. Yeah, see, this is what I was just talking about. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, yet we still keep seeing character interactions that add a little bit more to the game. The obvious relationship between Enzo and Isabella, and I wonder if it's going to be one that's going to be accepted by the Dawn, or is it going to be taboo, forbidden? Maybe she's involved with somebody else. And I guess that older guy we just saw is possibly the consigliere. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to see any more spoilers. Please, Hangar 13.
For anybody working on story-driven cinematic games, the casting process is always hugely important.
Father, so good to see you.
The actors are going to help you bring the emotions that you want the player to feel to screen.
To friendship.
We've been very lucky. We found our core characters, our central 5 or 6 characters, all just popped out from the screen as soon as we saw them.
Are you going to tell me the truth? Or are you going to accuse me of having a wild imagination like everyone else?
The first time I saw Ricardo on the screen, I had an immediate, strong instinct that this was going to be our guy. This was our Enzo.
I thought family was supposed to mean something. How can you do that to him?
I had a relationship with
Pretty good.
Enzo before Ricardo, the actor, got involved, right? Because we understand his journey in the game. I had a different idea to who Enzo was going to be. And it's really interesting to see what the actor brings to the character, because a character in a video game passes through a lot of hands, from the writers to myself as AD to the character artists to the animators. Everybody brings something to the character, and Enzo absolutely evolved across that process. He started as a sort of a younger guy in a way that was maybe even more naive and fresh-faced than we see him in the game.
I'm going far away from this place, Gaetano. Never coming back.
Enzo is a badass, right? Enzo is a dangerous guy. But he also has this other side to him where he's very human and approachable. He's trying to figure some of this stuff out in the same way players are as they encounter him in the game. Ricardo still has a lot of that.
Yeah, we keep seeing more scenes. I'm just really wanting to play this game with as little more spoilers as possible.
He has that naivety, has a quality to him and his performance.
We needed somebody very, very
There we go,
special
the
for that
behind the
role,
scenes
and
stuff,
we were
finally.
lucky that Ricardo came knocking.
And for the record, from what I've seen from the trailers and the cutscenes, I think they did a great job with the casting for everybody. From Enzo to Isabella to Don Teresi and all the others that they just introduced, the other actors playing some of the other characters. And that's something that I got to give credit to Hangar 13 for. And all the way back, to 2K Czech. And yeah, from the very beginning, the very first Mafia game to Mafia 2, Mafia 3, Mafia Definitive Edition, the casting has been top-notch. And I feel like that's the case as well with Mafia the Old Country.
We are trying to listen to our actors and to their ideas, because in the end it could enrich the experience that the player has while playing the game. And it's them who play the role at the end of the day, so they need to feel comfortable with what we are asking them to do.
All of the men in this room are bound by blood.
So we cast great actors for the role. Our job is to take those performances, their talent, and put it on the screen. It's not always straightforward. There is so much work and effort that goes into translating what we all take for granted, which we see every day in the nuanced actions, behaviours, movements of real people. The emotions that they convey really comes across in the detail of those performances when you see them in the game itself.
I do like the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Where have you been? Nowhere. Been busy.
It's a nice car in the background.
I think that the biggest challenge for an actor that's not used to acting in the motion capture stage is the emptiness of the motion capture stage. The actors need to be able to imagine a lot.
We are supporting them by the props, explaining what each prop means, what the set looks like, and then we are also showing them the virtual world on the screen. We are having like 2 studios, one in Brno, Czech Republic. We use this mostly for the systemic animation, for all the player locomotion, NPC locomotion, the word interaction, all the non-spoken events in the game. For the cinematics and narrative and spoken parts of the game, we are using the California 2K Games motion capture studio in Petaluma, which is really huge. This studio allows us to capture, we call it TCAP, like total capture, which means that we can record not only the body animation, but also the facial expressions and the audio of the actors.
And then you land on the ground.
Actors, they are enjoying playing and imagining the world, you know, so it's a blast to work with them, you know. They all love to do so.
My precious.
Wow, doing some Gollum.
Getting the imagination out of their head. May sound challenging for them, it's kind of also freedom for them, you know.
Chemistry between the actors, particularly Enzo and Isabella, has been really, really amazing. It's a real pleasure to watch.
People might talk.
And what would they say?
The way that we tie together the music and the performances and the location and all these things to produce, hopefully, a very memorable introduction into Sicily and to Enzo's experience. That's there to really make players form a relationship with the cast. You can form a relationship with the experience. I think is fantastic.
You have a name.
Enzo.
All right, Enzo. Let's go.
Yeah, I do appreciate all the hard work that the cast does behind the scenes, because it's not just voice acting. There was a time when it was just voice acting, but those days are long gone now, because a lot of games over the past, at least decade, they get in there with the suits, right, with the balls, and they have to really imagine, you know, the scene and use the props and like pretend that they're actually in Sicily or in the car or looking at a table or whatever they're doing, right? And then it's up to the studio, Hangar 13, to take the motion cap that all the actors do and like translate it over to the game itself and make it come across as believable and as realistic as possible. And I think that this is going to be a really good game. Now, story-wise, I hope it's up there with Mafia 1 and 2. I want it to be, and I got a good feeling about it. But at the same time, I don't want to get my hopes up because I'm currently playing through Mind's Eye. And it started off good, too. So I feel like Hangar 13 knows what they're doing. They've put years into this game, and they understand linear story and open world and the characters and how this will fit into the rest of the Mafia franchise. It's going to be very, very interesting. So props to everybody, the writers, the developers, the artists, the entire crew at Hangar 13, as well as, of course, all the amazing actors. I look forward to their performances in Mafia the Old Country when it comes out August 8th for PS5, Xbox Series, and Steam. And yeah, I'm going to be playing it at launch and definitely looking forward to it. And let me know your thoughts, views, and opinions. Welcome as always, below in the comments section.